Bangladesh. In this book from 1978, there are some things said about it, and it is mostly focusing on the sufferings of the people which are living there during the 1970s. And the book explains the disadvantages, geological, geographical, political, cultural, historical, and climatological, which are the reasons why the people are suffering there. Now, the book says then, for example, that there can be cyclones. And there was, for example, in the year 1970, a cyclone, so a very big storm, through which 500,000 people died. Or there is the monsoon in the summer months, and if that fails, there's drought. And there are the rivers Ganges and Brahmaputra, and the whole country is very flat, just 30 meters high, just by Chittagong, where it is 300 meters high. So it's just very low, and there can be a lot of flooding, and sometimes it is not possible to distinguish between flooded area and lakes and rivers and so on. And then there is written that there's also now coal, or just poor quality coal, and now larger mineral deposits. So industrialization based on extracting minerals isn't working. And then the book says that the region Bengal, it's not explained what now exactly is Bengal, so I don't know exactly, but the region Bengal was known for muslin and silk. But when during the British rule of India, and partially of Bengal obviously, I guess, then the center of Bengal was moved to the western part of Bengal around Calcutta, with the main port. And now the jute, which is something, was grown in eastern Pakistan, or is still, and then in the mills in western Pakistan around Calcutta, processed, and then from there the main ports probably shipped on. And now when India was partitioned in 1947, then the western part of Bengal seems to, the book isn't saying it, seems to have stayed in India. So there was, for example, Fazlul Haq in 1947, and he, for example, advocated for a separate Muslim state. 80% of the population in the 1970s of Bangladesh are Muslim. And now India was then partitioned in 1947, and there was then West Pakistan and East Pakistan, and they were one country. So India and then West Pakistan and East Pakistan, today's Bangladesh. And for 25 years that was so. But here the book says that many people of East Pakistan were thinking that the jute then sold in Western Pakistan, the revenues of it were used to build up the industries of Western Pakistan and not of Eastern Pakistan. Many people in Eastern Pakistan felt disadvantaged through Western Pakistan, that's the book saying. And so it was then in 1970, the big cyclone, and then there was an election, and then the people voted in Sheikh Mujibur, and he wanted then, and he advocated for an autonomous Bangladesh or East Pakistan. But it was not able to reach, he was not able to reach an agreement with Mr. Bhutto, a successful politician of Western Pakistan. And then there was a bloody repression, as the books say, of the people. Hundreds were killed, as the books say, and then 9 million people fled to India, where they were housed by India, and guerrillas were trained by India. And the book says that then Pakistanis attacked a surprise attack on an Indian airfield. And then the book says that following that, India entered into eastern Pakistan, and within 13 days overthrew, together with the guerrillas, the Western Pakistani rule in East Pakistan. And then in December 1971, Bangladesh, as an independent state, was with the capital Dhaka. And that is according to the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 3, Part 22, Regions of the Earth, written by Hugh Clayton, John Cole, Michael Frenchman, and D.H. Sinclair, on the pages 1130 and 1131, all written in 1978. The positions and views expressed are the ones of the source and don't necessarily align with my own or with the ones of the entity spoken of. Hi and welcome. I am trying to learn international studies, today Bangladesh, and afterwards we're going to do Neckstretching. And if you participate in the Neckstretching, then it's at your own risk. And this is the third part where we're reading this big double page, and it's all written in the 1970s. So the book talks a lot about what's happening there in the 70s with Bangladesh and Pakistan. All that is written from the 1970s. Bangladesh. And now we're reading it again, and we're trying to puzzle together a little presentation with the informations here from the book. Bangladesh, one of the poorest countries in the world. Bangladesh suffers virtually all the most pressing problems facing mankind today. Shortage of land and food, a rapidly increasing population, and a lack of resources. And the next part, we're going to name some reasons for it. With the independence war, with the oil crisis of the 70s, and the center of West Pakistan and East Pakistan lying in West Pakistan, and also the major port and some mills for something which was agriculture there. Okay, so that is the first thing. We try to include it in that section of our presentation about why Bangladesh is in some aspects more prone or worse to poverty. It has problems, as I said, of shortage of land and food. There's river flooding, shortage of land and food, and rapidly increasing population and a lack of resources. It has no own resources, so it does not have oil or something. It is not able to extract resources from the ground. It has a lot of flooding, and yes, okay, please. For nearly 25 years, the country was part of Pakistan and won its independence in 1971, only after a bloody 9-month struggle. 25 years would be 1945. I don't know exactly when India and Pakistan, when it was the mid-1940s. So from mid-1940s until 1971, Bangladesh was a part of Pakistan. Then there were 9 months of bloody struggle, and then it became independent as Bangladesh. Bangladesh is dominated by the vast river system of the Ganges. So it is the river system of the Ganges, okay. And the Brahmaputra and Ganges are the two big rivers in Bangladesh. These rush down from the Himalayas, fan out across the country, and pour into the Bay of Bengal, often flooding the country. So the Brahmaputra more on the west, and the Ganges on the other side are coming down, fanning, and oftentimes flooding the country. Ganges and the Brahmaputra. They're coming from the Himalaya now. Into the Bay of Bengal. Almost all the land consists of the fertile deltas of these rivers. These deltas of the rivers are fertile, often flooding, but they are fertile. And apart from the hills east of Chittagong, in the south, almost by the border, at the coast, almost all the land, and apart from the hills east of Chittagong, 300 meters, it rarely rises to 30 meters. So the whole country, with a length of, it's not set here, but 1 centimeters are 200 kilometers, of 600 kilometers, almost never goes higher than 30 meters. I don't know it. I am wondering how high around the North Sea, the northern part of Netherlands, I think the Netherlands are lower, but the northern part of Germany and of Belgium, how high they are. They must be something around 30 meters high, or lower. Okay, it is certainly over 30 meters high, but 600 kilometers long, that's quite long. The rivers frequently change courses, and it is often difficult to distinguish a flooded land from a river or sea. Flooded land, the river has flooded, can oftentimes not be really distinguished from the river or the sea. The rivers are changing their courses, Brahmaputra and Ganges, oftentimes flooding, and is fertile. The country has a tropical climate with hot, dry winters and hot, wet summers. The monsoon winds from the sea, usually brings heavy rains from June to September. The south has an average of 40 centimeters. Tropical climate, hot and dry winters, hot and wet summers. So always hot, dry winter, hot summer. Hot in the winter because the wind is blowing from the Himalayas down to the coast. Because the land is cooling faster down than the ocean, and therefore there is a high pressure on the ocean. It's that way around, and then all the air goes there to the ocean. It's better reasons. Maybe I'm mixing something up. It is colder on the land, therefore there's a low low air pressure on the land, and the air is blowing out to the ocean, and that is why there's an outblowing wind, which takes not water with it, because water coming from the land doesn't have water in it. water from the ocean where it has evaporated, has water in it. So it's not raining in the winter. Hot and dry winters, hot and wet summers. Monsoon brings, that is no monsoon, brings wind sea in June, July, August, September. June to September. And here the Sundarbans jungles are the remnants of natural vegetation and the last refuge of the Bengal tiger. Sundarbans. So, Chittagong, 300 meters high. The only high point is on the one side, and Sundarbans, where the Sundarbans jungles, there's the Bengal tiger living. When the monsoon fails, there is drought. If the monsoon is failing, for some not close specified reason, there is drought, and there can be cyclones. Okay, economy. It has not recovered from the devastation of War of Independence 1971. The book is written 1978. Although 82% of the people are farmers, only 25 to 65% of the land is cultivated. Food has to be imported. Most of the farmers cultivate rice and jute, though some also eke out living by fishing. With few roads and railways, but many rivers and a long coastline, waterborne transport is vital in the life of the country. There's a lot also transported on these rivers, and some people are fishing. Many people are cultivating rice and jute. Jute brings 80% of Bangladesh's export earnings, but it is declining in world markets with the increased use of man-made fibers. The country has no large mineral deposits apart from poor quality coal and considerable, though largely untapped reserves of natural gas. Okay, gas has it. Oil has been discovered beneath the Bay of Bengal. Oil on the ocean. Gas is there, but no coal, and also no other large mineral deposits. The population is increasing by more than 3% a year. And they're saying these are 10,000 new people born every day. The average person earns the equivalent of well below $100 a year. And they are almost every year, almost every year, there is a disaster, maybe a flood, a drought, an epidemic. This is when because of the poor health situations and sanitation facilities. The lack of resources and the lack of money for investment and for buying manufactured goods reduce incentive for industrial development. There are no resources, and therefore lacks of money for investment to buy manufactured goods, and therefore there's no industrial development. What was it exactly said? The lack of resources and the lack of money for investment. There is a lack of resources. Why is there a lack of money for investment? Because of the lack of resources? Could make sense. And a little money for buying manufactured goods. Reduce incentive in industrial development. No resources, and therefore, and also too little money. No resources and too little money, so no manufactured goods are bought, and therefore the incentive for developing industrial development. The sudden oil price rise 1973 hurt Bangladesh more than most countries. It pushed up prices of vital inputs and created a huge trade gap, which is only covered by foreign aid. By 74, the country's exports were worth less than 400 million a year, but its import cost 3 times as much, and the gap is widening. This level of imports allows for the rapidly increasing population to keep alive at not much more than their existence level, and more than 50% of the people are undernourished, 50% undernourished in the 70s. Only the few with good connections with government officials and the small number of wealthy families live a life that is in any way comfortable. Even if the optimistic 5-year plan of 74 to 78 were to succeed, the average person would enjoy only 0.45 kilogram food a day, as against 0.47 in the 60s. In each year, he or she would be able to afford only 7 meters of cloth, merely enough for 2 simple loincloths. I'm not really able to set it in comparison. What do we say here? But okay, we have now together. We don't have more time left. Just for one little thing. So that was the explanation of the region and so on. I think we have it quite good. one thing now. What is jute? Justness. Where's jute? It's not here. Justly. It's not here. It must be some type of cloth fiber-like material, which is growing on fields. That was the international studies part. If you were here for international studies, you can go directly to the next part of international studies. Then we will continue with Bangladesh, reading the rest and continue to build together our presentation about Bangladesh. If you stay here and participate in the next stretching, this will do almost. Relax the standing shoulder wide apart, breathe in, reach the fingertips to the sides as far as you can. Out and down. In and front. Out and down. And feet together, arms to the sides, and circle around with the arms. Change the direction. And down. Legs a bit apart, tall up, shoulders back, breathe in. And out, bring the head over to one shoulder, and the chin down to the shoulder. Breathe out. Breathe again in. Lift the gaze and turn the head over to the other side. Breathe out, chin down to the shoulder. Breathe and lift the gaze. Turn the head over to the other side. Breathe halfway out and circle the head over. Breathe in. And out, turn the head over and circle again back. Just breathe again in. Halfway out and circle back. Breathe and head over. And out and circle again over. Back. Have the palms together, feet elbows together, breathe and reach right. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. And the arms back, breathe in. And out in the front. In and back. Out in the front. In and back. And have feet standing together. Intertwine the fingers behind the back, tall up, shoulders back. Breathe in. And out, head out to one side. Chin down to the shoulder and pull with the hands down to the ground. Breathe in, lift the gaze. And out to the other side. Breathe again in. Out, chin down to the shoulder and pull with the hands down to the ground. Breathe in, lift the gaze. Back in the middle. The legs are standing a bit apart. And intertwine the fingers again behind the back. Bring them out to one side, tall up, shoulders back. Now turn the head over to the side where the hands are, chin down to the shoulder. Pull the other arm in and the shoulder down. Breathe in, lift the gaze. And turn the head over to the other side. Breathe in. Out, chin down to the shoulder. Shoulder, the other one in and down. And lift the gaze. Back into the middle. Feet are standing together. One arm behind the back, the other arm. And out, bring the head over. Don't pull at the head. Breathe again in. And out, look up. And breathe in the other arm. Out the head over. Breathe again in. Out and look up. And head down. In the arms up. Lean back out, my chest to the sky. In and up. Out and lean back. Up and intertwine the fingers into reach right. Down, change intertwining. In, up. Out and down. The feet keep standing. In the arms up. Out and down. In and up. And bring the hands down. That was the next stretching. I thank you very much. Again, until next time.